I also want to thoughts on Brock Purdy. Okay. This is big news. Yeah, San Francisco, where of course Sherman spent time playing for and against. Kyle Shanahan said that it is a long shot officially that Brock Purdy plays this weekend against the Saints. Ian Rappaport's reporting he's expected to miss 2 to 5 weeks of this short season in that crazy division. This is Wolf City. This is Wolf University. Okay, woof, 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 all the way home. If the Niners don't have enough adversity already, this is a lot. And the news did swing the odds. Finally, they were still the favorites yesterday. As of this morning on FanDuel Sportsbook, the Rams have taken over the top spot in odds at plus 160. So I don't know. This was enough to move the needle because they, despite obviously what has gone on injury-wise with Kittle and the like, Brock news, not good. So we'll see, like, what does this mean? What does this mean for what could be a masterclass by Kyle Shanahan, right? And getting this thing going and not losing a step here. They do a pretty nice schedule. We can get into that. Or they can't keep up and the Rams just dominate the West from here. That could happen. I don't know that they might have done that if the Niners were completely healthy with how they look. We have not talked enough on this show about what the Rams were able to do against the Texans last Sunday. The defense, so dominant. Stafford looked awesome. So much worry, so much discourse, so much like a trust issues with the Rams brass and like what's actually going on with him. He's missing time. I don't know. Like if they go 2-0 this Sunday, that by the way would be the first time they've done that since their Super Bowl winning season back in 2021. So I'm in. I'm all the way. What do the kids say? In it. With the swim hands, even though I think it's about something so gross, I'm sure I'm swimming in the Rams. That's where you'll find me. I'm not out on the Niners, by the way. Schedule, like I said, they got the Saints, the Cardinals, and the Jags. There's a very real world where Mac Jones, and if our producers can pull up his suit for the break, I'd like to see that, whatever he wore to the game last week. It's a big opportunity to see what he can do. And 4 years, we thought he might be the Niners' number 3 overall pick, right? This is like, there was some like Shanahanigans going on about wanting him. And now Kyle has him. Okay. He's your guy. So I'm not writing him off. And I will say this, there was a performance by Christian I want to talk about. Christian McCaffrey, again, dealing with injury, but we know he's got the talent to do it. He had look at this, 142-yard performance on 31 touches against a very tough Seattle defense. First game back from season-ending injury in 2024. He wanted it. And then, like I said, New Orleans, Arizona, Jacksonville, these are 3 very winnable situations. Give him the ball. Rely on him. And with the way their defense looked, I don't know. I think they're going to find a way through. And they've got, by the way, the first Shanahan-McVay matchup is week 5. Sherman will be there. Okay, that's a Thursday night football game against LA. They're still 3-point favorites. San Francisco at New Orleans this weekend. Favored to make the playoffs at minus 188. So we're not tapping out on the Niners, unless, of course, Richard Sherman says, it's over, kids. You got to let me ask you about Brock. I don't even know what I want to ask you because I do, like I was saying in the break, like, man, he's just going to have it rough if they do well. If they don't, he's apparently going to miss 2 to 5 weeks, right? He's got the turf toe. In comes in this dude who wears this red suit that we heard Shanahan wanted to draft originally in Mac Jones. He's just going to slide in as the starter. What differences should I expect going from Brock as the starter to Mac getting starts?
Well, the mobility, first and foremost. I mean, the Seattle defensive line was getting pressure, and some of those plays were extended and created by Brock's mobility. Mac doesn't necessarily have that mobility, so I'm sure there are certain concepts that Brock likes that Shanahan will, have to go away from because they're not what Mac likes, and maybe you'll see more screens. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, they'll lean on the run game more than they had in the first game. But there'll be some adjustments there. They'll try to shorten this game as much as they can, try to make this as easy of a game as they can for Mac Jones, keep it simple, do the things that he really appreciates doing. You're without George Kittle too, which also hurts, and that's tough. I think that's why they bring back Kendrick Bourne, a guy who is familiar with the system, a guy who can get open in the phone booth. Juwan Jennings is a little banged up. You got to see how that shakes out. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to run the ball and play good defense. New Orleans is a tough place to win. And regardless of their personnel or what's going on there, I think they're taking this game really serious and going to do everything they can to try to get out of there with a win.
I just saw some of those matchups. They've got that Rams one staring them in the face that you'll be a part of course. I think it's week 5, TNF on Prime on Amazon. So we're excited about that. You know, if they go and they win like the next 3, can I see the slate again? Control room. I think it's Saints, Jags, Cardinals, then Rams. If, you know, people are going to say if they go 3-0 here, then or start 4-0, that, you know, they shouldn't have paid Brock. That's this narrative that'll happen. Like, look, it's a system. Kyle Shanahan, he's the man. He can do it. Look, Kittle's not even there. They got McCaffrey, Mac Jones keeping it. What do you want to, let's get ahead of this. And I'm sure you'll talk about it on the Richard Sherman podcast, but what would you like to say to that segment of the unfaithful?
Well, that's just not true. That's not true at all. And the way they'll win is the way I'm talking about. They'll win leaning on Christian McCaffrey. They'll win leaning on the run game and this defense, Nicholas John Bosa, Fred Warner. They'll lean on the foundational pieces that they paid and that have helped drive this team. But I don't think any of this is an indictment against Brock Purdy and what he's done. I don't think they get to that Super Bowl without Brock Purdy. I don't think they get to that NFC Championship game in his rookie year without Brock Purdy. So it's his resume is already established. You know, them winning games against quote unquote lesser teams that haven't made the playoffs wouldn't be an indictment like, hey, they can do everything without Brock Purdy, because those playoff games are why he is who he is. It's not just the regular season and the games that matter. That Detroit game when they're down double digits going into the second half, or that you don't win that with just any quarterback. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are considered top 10 quarterbacks that I do not think win those games in the playoffs and have not won those games in the playoffs. And so when you have those conversations, you got to take the whole picture and remember what this guy has done in the playoffs, in critical games, in critical moments, and help this team win these ball games.
The gutsiness of last week's win, the digging deep for Brock Purdy, injured, dealing with injuries, all that adversity. Like I don't. It's hard for me to understand that other viewpoint, that other opinion. It's like it's bullshit.
Yeah. It's so disconnected from reality that I don't even really entertain it, because you literally, if you feel that way, if you want to hate on him and you want to create that narrative, you can. I mean, there are people that would feel that way about Jalen Hurts and they just won a Super Bowl and be like, oh, well, can't you just insert, look in the preseason, you know, the quarterback plays well, they could just put somebody. No, you can't. It's not how it works.